let's talk about how to engage your core and pelvic floor. So first off, we're going to think about how in the world do we squeeze or engage our pelvic floor. For a female individual, an individual that has female genitalia, there are three main openings at the bottom of the pelvis. So we've got here at the very bottom or the back, we have the anus where the rectum connects to, where stool and gas pass through. We have the vaginal opening above it, and then above that we have the opening for the urethra, which is where urine comes out of. And for the vaginal opening, we know this is for childbirth, for sex, for intimacy, etc. All right, so how do we engage these muscles? A big way, an easy way I like to think about this is to think of a squeeze and a lift. So a simple strategy you can think about when you're thinking about how to perform a Kegel or a pelvic floor engagement is to think about cinching off these openings from back to front. So you can think in your head, how do I close off my anus, my anal opening? How do I cinch off the opening of my vagina? And then think about even, can I kind of pucker and cinch off around the urethra? So it's a back to front squeeze, and then an internal lift is what we really want from these muscles. So how do we incorporate this now with the core and get it to all synergize and coordinate beautifully together? Well, with the core, with our deep core, the deep core references pelvic floor at the bottom, our transverse abdominis that runs horizontally all along the front wall of our abdomen, our diaphragm that sits underneath our ribcage, underneath our lungs, and then lastly from the back, our multifidi, which are a deep set of lumbar paraspinal muscles that support our spine. So all of these make up a canister. You can think of it as like 4 sides or even a can. A visual is a great way to visualize this. And we want to think about how do we get all these pieces moving together and efficiently. So when it comes to the core, we want to make sure that we are turning on our transverse abdominis when we are engaging our core, and we want to use our breath for both core and pelvic floor. So I'm going to demonstrate it now. First thing I'm going to do is really think about 360 degree. That just means the whole way around my trunk. I'm going to imagine filling up the air with, when I take a breath in, I'm going to imagine the air inside is filling up all the way around versus a lot of the movement coming from my upper traps, my neck, my shoulders, my chest. So the difference looks like this. This would be a 360 degree breath. I'm going to put my hands here. So I'm expanding a little bit through front, through the sides, my back is expanding behind me, versus a diaphragmatic breath that looks like this. There's a lot of movement happening there. This can lead to tension in the neck. It's an inefficient way to breathe deeply, and it's not what we're going after for core and pelvic floor. So first things first, I'm gonna really think about the 360 degree breathing. I'm gonna expand everywhere. On the exhale, I'm going to give myself a squeeze and a lift through the pelvic floor, and then I'm going to imagine a zipper. One way you can think about this is literally from back, so literally starting at anus, underneath, going up through vagina, through urethra, hitting pubic bone, and then zipping up the front all the way to underneath the sternum. So you should see my abs here. I'm going to relax here. You should see my abdominal muscles flatten evenly throughout my whole front wall here. My abdomen, my core, my pelvic floor are going to be coordinated and contracting at the same time. I'm going to demonstrate it here. So here comes, I'm going to put my hands here actually this time. Here comes a breath in. I'm going to exhale, engage. And then I'm going to inhale and let go. I'm going to try it again. Obviously, there are different strategies you can do when you are in anticipation of lifting a heavier object. You can obviously really think about engaging your core and pelvic floor. When you're performing functional movements or weightlifting, you really want to think about how to engage this. There are different strategies as far as how do we maintain this activation while we're going through multiple repetitions of exercise, or while we're doing a continued functional movement, for example, lifting groceries up a flight of stairs. So all those are different strategies that we can get into nuances a little bit later, but for now, that is the main concept on how to engage core and pelvic floor together. Let us know if you have any questions.